On July 25th, the 36-day students' protest at Jantar Mantar ended. Within 5 days, 3 assembly segments in Bihar, Gujarat, and Madhya Pradesh went for by-elections. And the results were spectacular. On August 3rd, as the counting started in Bankipur, in Bihar, political strategist turned politician Prashant Kishor stole an early lead. And by the end of the day, the founder of the fledgling Jan Suraaj Party had delivered a shocking defeat in what had been a BJP stronghold for 31 years. It is Thursday, the 6th of August. From the Economic Times, I'm your host Nidhi Sharma, and you're listening to the Morning Brief. In this episode, we are unpacking this week's big political story that has sent shockwaves through the electoral map. In our newsrooms, the results of by-elections are considered a foregone conclusion. Almost always, the ruling party sweeps them. This is why Bankipur, an urban Patna pocket, stands out. For 31 years, Bankipur was regarded as BJP's stronghold. First under Nabin Kishore Prasad Sinha and subsequently his son Nitin Nabin, who is the current BJP national president. But political strategist turned politician Prashant Kishor has completely rewritten the script, delivering the Jan Suraaj Party its maiden electoral victory. Let's start with hard numbers, because the shift from the baseline just 9 months ago is staggering. Prashant Kishor secured 64,151 votes, outpolling the BJP candidate Nidhi Sharma, who polled 44,827 votes. This gave PK a decisive victory margin of over 19,000 votes. Meanwhile, the RJD was relegated to a distant third with just 14,273 votes. To put this in perspective, in a seat where the BJP won by a comfortable margin of over 51,000 votes in the 2025 assembly election, this represents a massive 70,000 vote swing towards Jan Suraaj Party. And this victory comes just 9 months after Jan Suraaj Party drew a complete blank in the elections. So how did Jan Suraaj, a party that failed to convert its campaign buzz into seats in late 2025, pull off one of Bihar's biggest urban upsets? Was it a mistake to not contest elections last November? Did Cockroach Janata Party protest have a ripple effect on Bihar bypoll? I am joined by my Economic Times colleague Kumar Anshuman, who dissects this with me. Welcome to the show, Anshuman. So how do you see the Bankipur bypoll result, Anshuman?
Well, for Prashant Kishor, it was a big feat winning Bankipur assembly election, because who would have thought that a party which lost all the seats and could not even secure deposits on several seats in 2025 assembly election now has emerged winner on one of the seats which is considered to be the stronghold of the BJP, where the party's president, Nitin Nabin, it was his pocket borrow, his family pocket borrow. His father won the seat for 5 times. Naveen himself won the seat for 5 times. So on that seat where everyone thought that it will be a cakewalk for the BJP, Prashant Kishor really made the difference. And at the same time, the RJD, which usually used to get 30% votes on this seat, was relegated to 3rd place. So it's a big victory for Prashant Kishor, especially winning in the heart of the city, challenging the BJP, getting their core voters, and also big wake-up call for Tejasvi Yadav also, because he is losing that opposition space on this particular seat because a lot of core voter from both sides shifted. But going forward, I think it's going to be a big challenge for both the BJP and RJD, and for Prashant Kishor, a huge opening in Bihar, especially from Bankipur.
Anshuman, can you give a snapshot for our listeners? What is Bankipur all about? What kind of a seat it is? What is the caste combination?
Well, Bankipur is an urban seat. It's the heart of the city, Patna, capital city. Mostly high income, upper caste, affluent people are voters in this constituency. So that makes it a perfect voter group for the BJP, and BJP considers this as a strong voter group. The party, as I said, has been winning this seat since 1995. So to win a seat here in Bankipur, it really means that, it's not a rural vote. It's completely urbanized vote, which BJP considers as its core and which is the strong point of the BJP across the country. So Prashant Kishor winning that seat, gives a lot of message, gives a lot of signal that, how these voter groups are now looking at different options and they're not afraid of trying it if a right option comes in front of them.
So one would think, Anshuman, that if there is an anti-incumbency or an anti-BJP vote, it should ideally go towards RJD. Where was the vote shift in this?
Just to give you some details on the election day, Nidhi, if you see, there were 31 rounds of counting on the election day. And Prashant Kishor led right from round 1. So every round he was leading, only 2 rounds, round 4 and round 29. In round 4, he was lagging behind by 12 votes. And in round 29, he was lagging behind from the BJP candidate by 1,000 votes. Yesterday, I saw Prashant Kishor saying that out of 422 booths, BJP could manage to lead on only 17 booths. Rest of all booths, Prashant Kishor, Jan Suraaj was leading. What does it mean? It means that people from all cross community, caste and class, they all came together to vote for Prashant. In earlier elections, BJP used to start the lead from 5,000, 6,000 votes, and the margin would go up to 51,000, 60,000, that kind of margin BJP had. But here, this was not the question. Prashant Kishor maintained the lead, and by the end of it, he was a winner by 19,000 votes. If you see the other election, a lot of people in Bihar, mostly upper caste or, the core voter of the BJP, non-Muslim other voters, they seem to be unhappy of the BJP, but, in the end, they do not try a new option. And by the voting, they come back to BJP, feeling that if they try a new option, that will divide a vote and that will make a comeback. That will be a comeback call for the RJD, which they do not want. I mean, people still remember RJD by the Jungle Raj, what they released was during Lalu Prasad Yadav and Rabdi Devi's time, and they still fear that if the party comes to power, things will be different for them. So even if they are unhappy with the BJP, in order to keep RJD away from power, they'll again vote for the BJP. This is what changed this time. I mean, Prashant Kishor stood up as an option for the people who do not want to vote for the RJD and are unhappy with the BJP. Prashant Kishor became an option, and since this was an election which was not going to impact the overall government formation, permutation and combination, people were ready to try a new option. This is also a very important point. People are not afraid of trying this time. If you see the voting dynamics, I mean, RJD core voter, which used to get 30%, it got relegated to around 10-12% votes. So that vote also shifted. The core voter of RJD, minority voters, shifted towards Prashant Kishor. On the other hand, BJP, which used to get 60% votes, was struggling with 35% votes. There was a 25% swing from the BJP voters, which is huge, which means a large chunk of BJP voters also shifted towards Prashant Kishor. I mean, this is a huge feat for Prashant Kishor. His campaign was very carefully crafted. He was attacking the people. He was attacking the leaders, which he thought would make a difference on the ground and which will gel with the people. So very planned way. I mean, to say that this will continue in other parts of Bihar, it will be still very early. But yes, it has given a hope to the people that, they can keep RJD away from power, and at the same time, they can just make another candidate win by not choosing BJP.
So, Anshuman, these factors that you are saying, that if they're unhappy with BJP and they don't want to bring back RJD, these factors were there in 2025 Bihar elections. So my question is, what has changed in the last few months? Do you think Nitish Kumar moving out from the chief minister's chair has changed the dynamics? Or you think that the decision of Prashant Kishor to not contest the election himself also made a difference?
Okay, so let's start with Prashant Kishor. For 3 years, he was campaigning in Bihar. His people were on the ground everywhere in Bihar, in every constituency. he put up candidates, and initially it was decided that he'll contest 2025 election. But all of a sudden, he then announced that, he will not contest election because he needs to focus on all 243 constituencies and he'll campaign for all the candidates. I can say this because I was on the ground that this did not go well with the people. There were people who were seeing some hope in Prashant Kishor and were planning to vote for him. That decision not to contest made them feel that, if Prashant Kishor is not able to find a single seat in the entire state for himself, that means he is not confident enough to win this election option. So those people were, disheartened when Prashant Kishor said that he's not going to contest election. They came back to the BJP, they voted for the NDA alliance, and that's how you see the kind of government NDA has formed, with such a formidable majority. Now, coming back to Nidhi Kumar. Nidhi Kumar is one person who, for the past 20 years, he was not only managing the voter class of, MBC, most backward class, Dalit, a section of Dalits, and a section of even our caste. But at the same time, he was a well-accepted person among the women voters. This was considered to be a person who takes everyone along and running a clean government, who works for the people, who, thinks about the people. So that was definitely there. In April this year, Nidhi Kumar was sent to Rajya Sabha, and then BJP, for the first time in Bihar, BJP got the chief minister post, and it made Samrat Chaudhary the chief minister. Now, this has not gone well with a section of people. They are unhappy with Samrat Chaudhary as chief minister because Samrat Chaudhary's father was in cabinet with Lalu Prasad Yadav. Samrat Chaudhary earlier was also in cabinet with Rabdi Devi government. So they see that this is an extension of RJD, which has come to the BJP. Now, if the BJP makes Samrat Chaudhary the CM, they're not very comfortable with the idea. So all of a sudden, what I saw that Bihar started missing Nidhi Kumar. Then, after formation of the government, Samrat Chaudhary focused on policing. Every speech, like Yogi Adityanath would start saying that, there will be encounters. Criminals should leave Bihar because now there will be encounters. There were several encounters that took place, but one encounter that really angered a section of people was Bharat Tiwari, a boy in RR district of Bihar, where he was encountered by the police, and that created a lot of unrest among the upper caste and a section of voters, and they started openly mocking the BJP, so much so that several BJP leaders have to come and defend that, and they have to come and meet families of Bharat Tiwari. But that also did not go well with the people. Prashant Kishor very carefully during his campaign only attacked Samrat Chaudhary. Remember, the seat which he was contesting was vacated by Nitin Naveen. Throughout in his campaign, Prashant never mentioned Naveen's name. Prashant Kishor knew it well that Bankipur is Nitin Naveen's constituency. He has been an MLA for 5 times. His father was an MLA. So anything against him, if he says anything against him, might trigger the voters, and they would go away from Prashant Kishor. So he targeted Samrat Chaudhary, and that gelled well. People were unhappy. Prashant Kishor just gave them a voice, and they all sided with him. Still, after winning the election, what Prashant Kishor is saying that BJP should replace it with a new person, with a new chief minister, and work for the development of Bihar for the coming 3 years. So that is one thing that Prashant has focused, and that has worked. It seems that has worked for him.
The most obvious question, Anshuman, do you think the recent protests by the students at Jantar Mantar, which had a ripple effect all over India, also took the sheen of BJP in Bihar and helped Prashant Kishor?
Well, definitely, when election happens and if some important event happens around it, definitely there is an impact of that on election. So in Bihar, in Bankipur also, because there were protests in Patna and there were police arrests were made. All students were sent to jail. So this was like kind of a wide protest. Definitely parents of the families and people were unhappy with the way students were treated in the streets of Bihar. The cases were taken back after Cockroach Janata Party came forward and said that, this was a promise which was made by the central government that all the cases will be withdrawn. So that night, Bihar government issued a press release saying that all the cases, all the students will be withdrawn. More than 90 students were arrested in Bihar in protest. So that was also one of the reasons. And as I said, this Bankipur is a constituency where, aspirational class resides mostly. It's the aspirational class of Patna. So paper leak and all these things do not go well with this class. So there was an anger. I won't say completely, but yes, this Gen Z protest also played a part in deciding about whom to vote. And they saw Prashant Kishor as a hope on that particular constituency.
So what does this mean for RJD, Anshuman?
For RJD, the party which ruled Bihar for 20 years and then has been trying to come back to power, RJD was the real opposition. But the question is, the core voters of RJD are now shifting toward, in this election, they shifted towards Prashant Kishor. Tejasvi Yadav, RJD leader, deputy leader of opposition in Bihar, he was away during the monsoon session. He was in Europe. During the campaign, he was almost away from Patna, and he campaigned for 1 or 2 days for his party candidate Rekha Gupta on the seat. So people have started thinking, the core voters of Tejasvi Yadav have started thinking that maybe he's not very serious with his politics. He's inconsistent in his political. If you remember, during 2025 assembly election, when the elections were announced, post the announcement of election, he was absent for almost 15 days from the ground. He did not step out. He just did one press conference and he was sitting inside home. So that is also giving people a reason. And a lot of minority voters, even Muslim-Y combination, that broke in Bankipur because they thought that RJD is not a serious challenger. So this election is a wake-up call for Tejasvi Yadav. He'll have to start from scratch to gain the confidence of a section of voters which he thought he would have always command on. So definitely it's a wake-up call for some, warning for some, and a new hope or, new opportunity for some.
Apart from Bankipur, the fine print of Congress's Datia victory is also interesting. This seat in Gwalior-Chambal belt has been a BJP stronghold, with Brahmin leader Narottam Mishra winning it in 2008, 2013 and 2018. He lost narrowly in 2023 assembly election to Congress. Though Congress retained Datia's seat in the by-election, the lesson for BJP was how to keep its flock together. Workers say that BJP lost even in wards where Mishra holds sway. This brings us to the larger question. How should one see the bypoll results? It is political naivety to think that this is a trend. At best, it can be seen as an important political event or a wake-up call for BJP to manage local leadership better. This is all we have for you today. This episode was sound designed by Indranil Bhattacharjee and produced by Anirban Chaudhary. Thank you for listening, and if you like this episode, do spread the word. All new episodes of the Morning Brief podcast drop every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. All clips used in this episode belong to their respective owners. Credits mentioned in the description. Hope you enjoyed listening to this episode of the Morning Brief. I'm your host Nidhi Sharma, signing off. Have a great week ahead.